How we doing, YouTubes? It is time to get caught up on the Innistrad Crimson Vow spoilers from the weekend. We got about 50 new cards to check out, and we're getting a better feel for the mechanics, the color pairings, and of course, we're getting some new spicy commander cards revealed too that you can think about post pre-release. So, without further ado, let's just jump into it. Our first card is Cloaked Cadet. He is rocking the, I guess, Innistrad version of a ghillie suit. It's fancy. He's a little 2/4 for 5 mana, not all that efficient, but he's got training, so he's going to get bigger. And whenever one or more 1/1 counters are put on one or more humans you control, that's convenient that he puts 1/1 counters on himself. Wow. You get to draw a card. It only triggers once each turn, but Cloaked Cadet here, he's looking to move up in the ranks with his weird stick ghillie suit thing he's got going on. All right, next card. Lunar Reflection. Lunar Rejection. For 1 and a blue, it says return target wolf or werewolf creature to its owner's hand. You get to draw a card. The cleave is 3 and a blue. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Draw a card. I just want to say, you know, the cleave mechanic at first, I was not a fan of it. It just seemed kind of annoying. You had to like stop and slow down and read the card. My cats are going crazy. You guys all right? You guys gonna be okay? Oh, no, I'm okay, do your thing. Anyway, but the cleave mechanic, it makes you stop and read the card. And it's like, I know I'm not alone here. You're at a pre-release, you're just looking through the cards, you kind of read half of it, you're like, oh, I know what it's going to do, I've read it all, whatever. And then you're caught in that awkward situation of not actually reading the card, and it coming back to bite you. And cleave makes you stop and read the card. So I appreciate it, it's growing on me. Moving on, Fearful Villager, a 2/3 with Menace, Daybound, Nightbound. The Nightbound side is a 4/3 with Menace. Fearsome Werewolf, Fearsome Villager. Got it. All right, Angelic Quartermaster, a 3/3 flyer. When it ETBs, put a 1/1 counter on each of up to 2 other target creatures. So white-green, definitely getting a feel that white-green's going to be 1/1 counter-centric. It feels like a really snowbally archetype if I'm jumping to those conclusions again. And our Quartermaster here and our Mr. Ghillie suit, they're going to play really well together. Help you draw some cards, help you just keep getting bigger and badder and scarier for your opponent to catch up to. Then we got probably the most people's favorite card spoiled over the weekend, Toxrill the Corrosive. It's a slug horror, a legendary slug horror. For 5 and 2 black, you get a 7/7. And then creatures you don't control get -1/-1 for each slime counter on them. Well, wait, what's that? At the beginning of each end step, you get to put a slime counter on each creature you don't control. So I play the grossest creature in the set, probably Toxrill the Corrosive. And then I say go. Oh, on my end step, all of your creatures are getting essentially a -1/-1 counter on them. But that -1/-1 counter just keeps building. It's just going to keep building. And then whenever a creature you don't control with a slime counter on it dies, you get to create a 1/1 black slug creature token. And then for black and blue, you get to sacrifice a slug, draw a card. Like, this card's just going to win you games that you shouldn't win because it's just that powerful. I don't know if any of y'all got kittens out there or cats. We got a second cat. Name's Luna. So we got Jax and Luna. Actually, oh, you can kind of see the name popping up right here, right? So you got Jax right there, and then Lou. You see Lou, but it's Luna. And actually, it's kind of fitting. So Jax is an orange tabby. Luna is just a black as night, long-haired cat. But in a way, if you held them next to each other, it'd be like day and night, right? Am I getting off track? Obviously. But they're both about 6-7 months old, and they are crazy. So that's what's going on in my life right now. Then we have Uvenwald Oddity. It's a 4/4 for 2 and 2 green. Hey, a 4/4 for 4 mana, not the worst thing, especially when it has Trample, Haste. Pretty good. But then for 5 and 2 green, you can transform it into an 8/8 with Trample and Haste. And it gives all of your other creatures +1/+1 and Trample and Haste. So if you just want to win the game, there you go. You've done it. What is this art? It's a moose with a very hungry stomach that will eat all the beasts in front of it. Like, that is... Hey, it's not just werewolves transforming. That just dawned on me. We got beasts transforming too. I'll take it. All right, Vile Spawn Spider. I'm going to be honest. Blue-green was so disappointing in Midnight Hunt. It was... it was probably the worst archetype I've felt was in this set or in a limited setting for like the past few years. And I get it was trying to be like the splash and, oh, we want to help you flashback stuff. No. Midnight Hunt I thought it was going to be better balanced. It was not. Blue-green was one of the biggest disappointments to me. Just not a fan of its gold cards. Except for the one that helped you bring the flashback. It was fun to build a janky deck with it, but beyond that... Alright, I'm done ranting. Vile Spawned Spider is pretty good. It's a 2/3 with reach for 2 mana. But at the beginning of your upkeep, you get to mill a card. Sometimes you don't like that in limited. It makes you a little nervous if games stall out and you might deck yourself. But I really like this card because for 2, a green and a blue, you can tap it, sacrifice it. You get to create a 1/1 insect creature token for each creature card in your graveyard. So let's just say it gets you like 6-7 tokens. We don't know what else is in this set, but I could very well see this card being your... I'm going to do my thing on my turn. You got 1 turn to respond, and then I win the next turn because, well, you know I'm bringing the pain. All right, moving on. Kessig Wolf Rider, a 1/2 menace, and for 1 red, you get a 1/2 with menace. So you can already feel the constructed red, mono red aggro getting nice little card you want to play 4 of in every mono red deck for the next 2 years. And then for 2 and a red, you can tap it, exile 3 cards from your graveyard, create a 3/2 red wolf creature token. Not sure how that's going to play, but seems interesting. Then we got a new demon. Got to have a new demon. Deadfast Demon, a 6/6 flyer for 5 and 2 black, so 7 mana and no trample. Seems like a bit of a drawback from what you'd normally see in a demon card, but it is only a rare as well. It's not the mythic rare, but anyway, it's the thing that's really spicy about this card is the second set of text at the beginning of your end step. Sacrifice a non-demon creature. If you do, create a token that's a copy of Dreadfast Demon. So, point is, in limited, it's going to win you the game. Especially if you have a few tokens you can sacrifice. They don't have to be non-tokens. They just have to be non-demon. So, sacrifice your 1/1, what are these, 1/1 green insect creatures, turn them into 6/6 flyers. Now, every time you do that, right, you're having to sacrifice. If you make a token of this, you have to do it again. So now you got to sack 2 creatures, and then 4, and whatever. Point is, you're probably winning the game in a turn or 2 anyway, if you get to that point. Now we got this, like, Trainee. I like that. I was waiting for a funnier name, but I was disappointed. Okay, it's a 4/4. They get trample lifelink as long as you put a 1/1 counter on a creature this turn, and then you can pay 1 green, white. Target creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it gains trample and lifelink until end of turn. Seems pretty good. Then we got Brine Comer. So 1/1 when it ETBs or becomes the target of an aura spell, create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. Same with this side, although the enchanted creature ETBs, and now it has the same effect. So I'm wondering, is white-blue just going to be all about tokens and enchanting those tokens to do fancy things? That makes sense, since a lot of the disturb effects we're seeing are more auras rather than just a flying version of the front side, you know? Twinblade Geist, a 1/1 double strike with disturb that comes in and gives the enchanted creature double strike. What? It's like we were just talking about how that's all the disturb cards. Got it. What are you guys? Are y'all? What are you doing? Kittens. Okay. Pack Song Pup. Little 1/1 for 1 and a green. That at the beginning of your combat in your turn. If you control another wolf or werewolf, I get to put a 1/1 counter on this? What? That's green for you. Green's getting a lot of 1/1 counters in this set. And when it dies, you gain life equal to its power. Seems neat. Now, this party goer, Undead Stewart, it's a 1/2 when it ETBs, mill 3. When it dies, you may exile it, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. That seems pretty good. I'm curious how much self-sacrifice, other sacrifice, things dying type synergies there are. This card seems like it could be pretty good. Alright, now we got a 3/3 with haste. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, it gets +2/+2 till end of turn for 5 mana. That's not terrible. Not terrible, right? Alright, moving into Saturday's spoilers. We got Rending Flame. Deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. This will be some pretty primo removal in limited. And if it's a spirit that you're targeting with it, well, it deals 2 damage to that permanent's controller as well. Seems good. Now we're seeing a mythic rare, Cemetery Protector, 3/4 flash. I feel like there's nothing about a cemetery that's flashy. But Cemetery Protector, you better believe, not just walking around all slow and whatnot. Nope, they're flashing around that cemetery for some odd reason. When the ATB, exile a card from a graveyard. Whenever you play a land or cast a spell, if it shares a card type with the exiled card, you get to create a 1/1 white human creature token. So I'm envisioning in limited, you're often going to try and get rid of a land, because then this thing essentially gets landfall, create a 1/1 white human creature token. Seems pretty decent. Then we have Valorous Stance, probably one of my favorite two cost instance in the set already, because it gives you choose one. You have this incredibly flexible card. Creature either gains indestructible, or you destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. There's so many, like every set feels like it has a card like this. Destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater, 3 or greater, whatever. And they're fine. You just always feel like, I don't want it to be a dead card in my hand. Now, you can guaranteed protect your thing from something, whether it's in a combat trick or removal or whatever your opponent has, or you can use it to get rid of that big butt that your opponent has and you don't have another answer for. I love how flexible this card is going to be in Limited. Then we have Innocent Traveler. It's a 1/3. Beginning of your upkeep, any opponent, how generous, even people not even playing in your game. I'm just kidding, they have to be playing in your game. Any opponent may sacrifice a creature. If no one does, transform Innocent Traveler. And then they're not, I'm going to be honest, they are not so innocent. They're a 3/3 flyer that also gets +2/+0 as long as an opponent controls a human. So it's like, hey, I have this looming 1/3 here. Now granted, it does cost 4 mana, so it's not the most threatening thing early game, but it's more of a mid-game, could be pretty bomby. A 5/3 flyer coming at you in the air does not feel like something I want to deal with, and you need to have an answer for it ASAP. All right, now we have a little board bouncer, Overwhelming Wave. Each player choose a non-land permanent they control, and then you return all others to their owner's hands. And then if your opponent has more cards than you, you get to draw a card. Now if it's Commander, it's for each opponent with more cards in hand than you, you get to draw a card. That's pretty awesome. Maybe Two-Headed Giant, it could work. Could be fun. Then we got Investigator's Journal. For 2 manas, when it ETBs, or I guess it ETBs with a number of suspect counters on it equal to the greatest number of creature tokens. Equal to the greatest number of creatures a player controls. So if you got 2, your opponent's got 3, it's entering with 3 suspect counters on it. Then you can pay 2 and tap it, remove a suspect counter, draw a card, or pay 2 and sack it, draw a card. So it's not super efficient card draw if you look at it like a, so it's 4 mana, draw a card, 6 mana, draw 2 cards. That's not great. But in Limited, sometimes you get into a situation where it's gummed up or you're in top deck mode, and this just lets you draw cards. Or if you have a clunky draw and you don't have a way to really use 2 mana here, 2 mana there, dump it into something and draw some cards can be the game-winning thing. It's just, cards like this are always good. It's just, are they great? Like, are you going to play them in every deck? I feel like I would have a hard time not playing this card just because I love card draw. But I could see where someone says, no, it's too expensive in aggro decks, that kind of thing. All right, Biolume Egg. An 0/4 defender when an ETB scry 2. When you sacrifice Biolume Egg, return it to the battlefield transformed. So we got to assume blue-black is going to be all about the sacrificing of things. We did see what the blue-black let you sacrifice slugs. So this isn't a slug, but it's a serpent egg. And it transforms into Gyarados, a much scarier, teethier, slightly thinner Gyarados. That's what I first saw when I saw it. It's a 4/4 sack 2 islands. It can't be blocked this turn, so it could just be a weird finisher for you if you're desperate. But I'm curious to see how easily we can sacrifice this thing to turn it into our Gyarados friend. Look how friendly he looks. Okay, Kindly Ancestor. A 2/3 with lifelink for Disturb gives a creature lifelink. I just like lifelink in Limited. I can't help myself. 2/3 with lifelink seems like it could be pretty good in this set, especially with not seeing, like, we're seeing a lot of bigger butts in this set. But I feel like the 2/3 is going to be annoying for an opponent to deal with. Then we got Dormant Grove. This card feels like an absolute bomb to me. Beginning of combat on your turn, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Then if that creature has toughness 6 or greater, you get to transform it into a 3/6 that gives all your other creatures vigilance, and it itself has vigilance. So I mean, this is a card that you play. Adding a 1/1 counter every turn. Yes, the turn you put it down is not ideal. Even the second turn, you're still like, man, 4 mana for 2 power and 2 toughness. But if you were able to curve out into this thing and go 1/2/3 or even 2/3, and then on turn 4 play this, I feel like your opponent's going to be in a world of hurt. Because then after, you got to assume on turn 5 you're playing at least 1, if not 2 things onto the board. And the fact that your stuff just keeps getting bigger and bigger, and you can always target, something else to make sure you don't actually transform it if you don't want to. I love the flexibility of this card. Then we have Runo Stromkirk. And this, I want to say this is one of my predictions that I had, where we're going to have a legendary vampire or a new bloodline of sorts. And they're not going to revolve around the Mardu colors. It's going to be blue or white was my inkling that those would be the main colors it focuses on, even though white I know is part of Mardu. But here we are, okay? Blue. we got our blue-black Vampire Cleric. Seems interesting. It's a 1/4 flyer. When it ETBs, put up to 1 target creature card from your graveyard on top of your library. Okay, cool. You're going to help me draw a creature. Wait, what's this other paragraph? At the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. You may reveal that card. If a creature card with mana value 6 or greater is revealed this way, transform Runo. So, I mean, ideally, you have a big creature in your graveyard. Your opponent knows it's coming. And then this turns Runo into Krothos, Lord of the Deep. And now he's a 3/5 flyer that when he attacks, you create a tapped and attacking token that's a copy of another target attacking creature. If it's a Kraken, Leviathan, Octopus, or Serpent, creates 2 of those tokens. So we're getting closer to having a pretty sweet Kraken type commander deck, and Runo's bringing a weird Vampire Cleric theme to it. I'm actually kind of excited about this card. In Limited, I think it'll be fine. I mean, it just seems like a really high value type of play. But Commander, like I want to start brewing up some Commander stuff with this card probably right after. This will be one of the top ones to start chewing on. Then we got Garolf, Visionary Stitcher. I think this card's going to look sweet in person. I can't wait to check it out. But it's bringing the effect of giving our zombies flying. Not just zombie tokens, just all the zombies can now fly. I'm terrified. Are you terrified? If you're not, you should be. Because he can also pay a blue and tap him, sacrifice another non-token creature. And you get to create an XX blue zombie creature token where X is the sacrifice creature's toughness. And those effects always like annoy the heck out of me. Because this is a 1/4. He's just hanging out and blocking all of your early, maybe even mid-game plays. And he's annoying to deal with. And then if you go to remove something bigger and more threatening, he just gets to blue tap him, sacrifice it. So you like have to take this out before you can deal with all the bigger threats that they have on the board. And being 4 toughness, to me, I assume, means half of the removal in the set won't even hit him. Like, I'm sure all the black removal will always destroy him or whatever, but like red's going to have a hard time, white may have a hard time with it. Green, you're waiting until like the mid to late game because you need to get enough power out there to have it fight it and kill it, and it's just annoying. Cards like this are really annoying to deal with in Limited. Then we got Mind Leech Ghoul. It's a 2/2 with Exploit. When it exploits, each opponent exiles a card from their hand. Seems pretty good. Now we're into our handful of Friday spoilers. This is probably the funniest one Scryfall threw the name out for. It's the Reachy Thingy. Reachy Thingy. It can't be blocked as long as it's attacking alone, and then its transform side, which is not currently available. Enchanted creature, as long as it is attacking alone, can't be blocked. Now we see Helana and Elena partners. This is a huge bomb in Limited. It's a 2/3 first strike reach creature for 4 mana. Meh, not too shabby. At the beginning of combat on your turn, put X 1/1 counters on another target creature you control, where X is their power. Oh, that creature also gains haste until end of turn. So if somehow you can throw a combat trick on this thing, like I'm thinking of the one from Midnight Hunt, +3/+1. This thing now has 5 power. Oh, go to combat. I get to put 5 1/1 counters on another creature. Not +5/+5 or whatever. 5 1/1 counters. That's nuts. It's also making me a little hopeful that 3-color combos are going to be pretty good in this set. You know, right here, white, red, green obviously seems like a natural pairing. This card's just going to be bonkers for folks. Like, you have to kill it before they get to combat on their turn if this thing comes down. If not, they're probably just overpowering you in a couple turns no matter what you think you got in your hand. Then we got Archghoul of Thraben. It's a 3/2. When it or another zombie you control dies, look at the top card of your library. If it's a zombie card, you may reveal it, put it in your hand. If you don't put it into your hand, you may put it into your graveyard. Thanks, Archghoul of Thraben. Then we got Hallowed Haunting. This card seems unplayable and limited, but could be really cool in Commander. As long as you control 7 or more enchantments, creatures you control have flying and vigilance. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you create a spirit cleric creature token with their power and toughness are equal to the number of spirits you control. So, yeah, I don't think you could ever play that in Limited. You could definitely build around it in Commander. And it'll be interesting if it makes its way into Standard as like a janky, fun deck. It could happen. We'll see what happens. Then we got an 0/4 with Defender that you can pay 2 in a red, 2 in a black to transform it. And when you transform it, it turns into this cool eyeball-looking thing. It's got Menace, and whenever this creature transforms into the Uncovered Eye, target opponent reveals their hand. You may choose a non-land card from it. If you do, they discard that card and then draw a card. So it's not like it's great in the sense of you hopefully hit their big removal or bomb and they just end up drawing a land or something awful off of it. You know, fingers crossed, you hope they don't draw anything better, and they don't have to. Right, wait, do you have to make them discard it? You may choose a non-land card from it. Okay, so if you're like, hey, your hand's all land, enjoy that. I'm gonna let you just enjoy that one for now. And we got Path of Peril, a weird, awkward kind of board wipe for 1 and 2 black. Destroy all creatures with mana value 2 or less. Then for 6 manas, you can cleave that off to just destroy all creatures. Neat. All right, Dawnhart Geist. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, you gain 2 life. So white, maybe white-blue gonna have some life gain synergies going on, or white-green. What would, yeah, spirits would be white-blue, right? So gotta be white-blue. And then this is another funny one. Bed Sheet Elemental. Now, I'm not gonna think of it any other way than like Bed Sheet Elemental whenever I see this at a pre-release. Whenever you gain life, you just put a 1/1 counter on it. As long as it has 4 more 1/1 counters on it, has flying and vigilance. That seems good. Oh, and then if it has 10 or more, it has indestructible. So, I mean, at that point, I'm assuming you already won the game, right? Because it's a 6/6 flyer. Is it flying lifelink? No, flying vigilant. It's 6/6 flying vigilant for at least 3 turns before it turns into a 12/12 indestructible. Probably already won. Anyway, Mana Form Hellkite, 4/4 flyer. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you get to create an XX red dragon illusion creature token with flying and haste. X is the amount of mana spent. You exile it at the beginning of the next end step. So it's a 4/4 flyer that pumps out more little flying dragons as you cast those non-creature spells. Seems good. Then we're going to wrap it up. Volatile Arsonist, we already seen you. The 4/4 menace haste. When you attack, you get to ping stuff. Other side's a werewolf. That's a 5/5 that shocks stuff. Then we got Tauren's Fist of the Angels and their fancy Dr. John Seward card. It's a 2/2 with training for 3 mana. But whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you get to create a 1/1 green and white human soldier creature token with training. So, white-green, that kind of solidifies white-green's going to be the most training-focused humans, 1/1 counters, just building up a board that goes wide and then tall into the mid and late game. We're going to have flyers because it's white, and then it's going to splash and play well with red-green as well, because werewolves seem to be having some counter synergies coming around. Pack Song Pup, how we doing? Yeah. I'm wondering if, like, the Protector, is this going to be part of the cycle? Could be. We're seeing removal options. I like the flexibility, like in our white spell here. Valorous Stance. Investigator's Journal, I think, could be good. Runo Stormkirk, I'm just happy. Stromkirk, I'm happy. We got the blue-focused vampire family type deal. I think it's going to be fun. I think it's going to be fun in Limited, and for those of us that are always excited to build up a new commander deck for every set. It's kind of my go-to. Every new expansion set, I seem to be building one new commander deck. I don't know how long I can sustain that, because that's, I mean, we're getting like 15 new sets a year, so that's a lot of commander decks. But so far, it's been fun, and it helps me justify spending more money than I should on Magic. So with that, go to Card Kingdom, spend your money on your Magic cards there, use my affiliate link, just let them know I sent you. I'd appreciate it. I'm sure they'd appreciate it. And yeah, we'll see you in the next video, my friends. Take it easy. Peace.